Have you ever wanted to be able to consciously tune into your intuition at will? In our previous video, we journeyed through the concept of our soul's plan before birth. We explored the ideas that the challenges that we face here on this lifetime were chosen by our souls before we were even born. And this is all to facilitate our soul's evolution and transcendence. Today, we're going on an adventure to discover how our souls communicate with us. It is done through the subtle and yet very profound language of intuition and inspiration. Intuition is the language of the soul. It is how it communicates and guides us. It is a language of energy. It speaks in vibration, not in words. In order for us to listen to our intuition, we need to be open to it and expect it. It is a muscle that we have to develop and we have to practice, because it is always talking to us, whether we listen to it or not. Have you ever felt it? Have you ever listened to your intuition? Are you familiar with it? Do you use it in your daily life? Is this something that is familiar to you? Have you ever caught yourself using words like, I don't know, it feels like something's telling me, or I have a gut feeling, or I sense something? If you have, then you have definitely listened to your intuition. Maybe you didn't know what it was, and maybe you didn't know where it was coming from, but it is definitely there. It is something that we all have and we can all tap into. Intuition is listening with all of our body, not just with our ears. It is something we sense. It is a feeling, and every person feels it in a different way. Some have it pretty clear in their gut area, and that's why sometimes it is called a gut feeling. Some might have spiritual chills, or like some chills in their entire body that tells them when something is right or something is wrong. Some might sense it more in their chest. Every single person feels it differently, and they're all the same language. It's energy, it's vibration, and it's coming from your soul. The most important motivator to listen is to be interested. This voice, this intuition that speaks from our higher self to us, is here to help us, to guide us, to help us make some decisions in life, and to be more connected with our purpose. As I mentioned in the first video of this series, we are conformed by three parts: mind, body, and soul. Our soul is our true essence. Our mind is a tool that we have so that our soul can navigate through life, so it can better understand how to use the body, and so it can have the tools that it needs to get the most out of this life. And this mind that we call the ego is only supposed to be an assistant. It is not supposed to be the boss. It is definitely not supposed to be the driver of our life. So this ego has a voice, but this voice, its essence, comes from fear and from lack. So it is a very selfish voice that is constantly based on fear. And then we have our soul's voice, which is always telling us the truth of who we are, which is love and light, which is kindness and unity. Over the years of evolution, we have connected more to our bodies and to our mind, and listening more and more to our ego's voice. But if we want to fully thrive here on earth, and if we want to be able to live our purpose as souls here on earth, we need to again connect to our souls. And the way to do that is to become more familiar with our intuition. I've also heard so many people say that they're not creative, because creativity means for so many people that you have to be an artist or a singer or a performer. But inspiration, which is part of our soul's communication, makes every single one of us a creative person, because creativity is not exclusively related to art and design and performance arts. Creativity is how we souls create our lives here on earth, and how we use our inspiration to get what we want, to manifest what we want. So we are all inherently creative beings. Sonia Chetet, who is an expert in intuition, talks about 4 decisions that we all have to make if we want to be able to connect and listen to our intuition. The first one is be open to intuitive guidance, which is like tuning on into a radio station. Just be open to it, tune into it. The second one is expect your intuition to guide you. Ask your soul for answers, and then just be open and expect the answer. And in that openness, you have to be willing to be honest, because sometimes the truth can be uncomfortable, especially for our ego, who is when starts showing more and more resistance. The third choice that we all have to make is to trust that we can intuitively feel and sense, that we have that ability. Even if we've never felt it, it is a practice that we can develop and that we can master. And the fourth choice we have to make is act on your intuition. Once you start getting familiar with that gut feeling or with that chest feeling or with the chills or however you listen to it, act on it. I'm going to share with you a game I learned from Sonia Chiquette that opens up the space for our intuition to manifest. It's called the I Wonder game. But before I explain how this game works, just say it with me. Say, I wonder, I wonder. What did immediately happen? What did it happen to you? What happened with me is that I immediately looked up because I'm looking for answers, because wondering means that I don't know. And when you don't know, it means that you are open to learning something new. Wondering activates your right side of the brain. It activates imagination, creativity, and inspiration. It puts you in a state of being receptive. The left brain, which is the logical brain, always knows the truth. It is always saying, I know, yeah, I got this, yeah, I understand this. But the right brain is always open for something new, for learning something new, for not knowing. And it is okay not knowing, because in creativity, that's the basis. It is not knowing. If I want to create something new, I have to not know. The left brain always knows because it is always operating from yesterday's information. So if it looks to the past, it obviously knows. But we here want to be in the present moment and looking to the future, affirming that we don't know, because not knowing is the only way to creating something new. And wondering is the first step in not knowing, is admitting we don't know. So this game has 3 specific and very simple rules. The first one is play the game without the need to be right. The second one is be willing to be wrong. And the third one, if you play with somebody else, do not let them tell you if you're right or if you're wrong. And you do not tell them if they're right or if they're wrong. And so the way you play this game, whether you do it by yourself or you do it with someone else, is just by wondering things. For example, I wonder why the trees are green. And then you just answer, I wonder. Or if somebody else is there with you and they wonder something like, I wonder how pants were invented, the other person would just say, yeah, I wonder. So there's millions of things we don't know. So wonder about them. That's the essence of this game, to just simply let your imagination go and wonder about everything. You can wonder all sort of things about your future. So you can say, for example, in my case, I could say, I wonder if I'm gonna have more kids. I don't know, I wonder. I wonder if I'll ever be on a TED stage. I don't know, I wonder. I wonder if I'll ever be interviewed by Oprah. I don't know, I wonder. And then it allows my imagination to run free, and it allows me to actually invite these possibilities to happen in my life. We need to let go of the need to always know the answer and to always be right, because that means that we're always operating from yesterday's information. So when I let go of that need and I allow myself to wonder, I open myself to new information, to learning new things. So play I Wonder. Make wondering part of your daily life. Invite not knowing to your life and be okay with it. Enjoy it. Be open to learning something new. Tune into your body and be mindful and pay attention when you say things like I sense, or I have a gut feeling, or something's telling me, or I have these chills. Just pay attention to what happened right before that and what happens after that. Are you listening to that? Are you becoming more familiar with that voice, with that language, with that vibration and energy? Can you take advantage of these experiences so you can master it and then use it at will and ask your soul for guidance whenever you need it and know that you're gonna have the answer? I wonder. So try it. And if you want to comment and share your experiences, please comment here below. So to recap, in this video we delved into the amazing language of the soul and how it communicates with us through intuition and inspiration, which are the languages of the soul, which is the way it communicates through energy, through vibrations, and which we can feel in different ways. Sometimes we feel it in the gut or in our hearts, in our chest. Sometimes we get the chills. For every person is different. And we've learned to recognize and to be open to the signals so we can be guided and we can take advantage of that higher self that knows other things different than the things we know, that can help us make better decisions in life. And finally, I explained to you this game I learned from Sonia Chiquette called I Wonder, which basically puts you in a state of being open, receptive, not knowing, and be willing to learning something new so you can actually maybe create new things in your life that you were not even trying to think about because you thought were not possible based on yesterday's information. But wondering opens up the gates to imagination, and imagination opens up the gates to intuition. By fostering this connection, we align closer to our soul's guidance, allowing it to help us make better decisions that are more in line with our true purpose and our true path. So as we wrap up this exploration on intuition, in the next video, we're gonna explore other forms of communication that we also hear or listen or sense in our bodies. And these are emotion and physical ailments or physical symptoms. So stay tuned as we continue to unravel the mysteries of our inner world and how our three parts have different roles and how we can better understand them so we can get the most out of them.